Good morning, folks. I'm Luce, and this is neweconomies.com. Today we're here at the beautiful NASDAQ Times Square studio, and this is a special chapter for all of you guys that are looking money, looking exposure, for all the serious entrepreneurs. So make sure that you watch this whole interview very, very well. Good morning, Alice.
Good morning, Luce. I have the special privilege to announce we have Pitch Investors Live here sitting with us. Jonathan Foltz and Matthew Lally, they're co-founders, and they will tell you about the exciting news and their platform that they have developed. Jonathan?
Morning, Alice.
Morning.
Luce, how you guys doing? So basically, Pitch Investors Live is currently the only app and platform that allows entrepreneurs and startups to pitch investors live, just like the name of it itself. And it's very exciting because, you know, it's been so many different ways that you try to get funding out in the world. And one of the things that attracted me to this project when Matt started is when he started telling me the story about how, you know, we're going to disrupt the way that, you know, Silicon Valley and New York was getting funding. And to me, that was like very appealing. And basically that's what we're doing is by showing people how to directly be able to find, let's say, an investor on this platform.
Absolutely.
And investors finding the entrepreneurs instantaneously, almost in a Tinder-like fashion and everything like that. And it's really cool how they can instantly connect, find themselves, get exposure to their projects, possibly funding, advisory, and whatever else from entrepreneurs. I mean, entrepreneurs can do that, let's say, from Venezuela, South Africa, and then they can get contact with someone in Silicon Valley. You know, that's something that really hasn't been done before.
No.
So actually your investors are mentors, and they're the venture capitalists, the angel investors, and the business experts. So those are the two parties that you're serving.
So it's actually very difficult to raise funds if you're not in one of those locations Jonathan mentioned, either New York or San Francisco. It can be very difficult to raise funds. And the process of doing that involves, you know, a lot of networking, a lot of traveling, spending money to bring in money and so on. And it takes time on both parties, from both parties. For example, you know, you have to, as an entrepreneur, you have to go out and meet a lot of people who end up not being interested. And the investor, you know, has to spend time listening to people who aren't interesting, and they have to go travel to meet those people and make special arrangements and stuff. And so what our platform does is it just cuts down all that time. It's like, do I want to talk to you? I don't like you. Okay, so let's end this conversation after 2 minutes, and it didn't.
You
cost
swipe.
anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You swipe.
Exactly.
So you've had a nickname of being like Shark Tank and Kickstarter on the blockchain. So tell us about that tagline that people know you by.
The experience of going on the platform is basically you write a quick summary about what you're looking to pitch, and then investors using a Tinder-like interface decide they want to go live with you or they don't. And then when you're live, people are watching. So it's kind of like you're on a live version of the TV show Shark Tank or something like that. And then beyond that, also we're adding mechanisms for the audience to participate in that. So it really is a live experience and participate in lots of interesting ways.
So you have a very interesting thing because, you know, this is going to be bigger than Indiegogo, it's going to be bigger than Kickstarter, and at the same time you have this sort of swipe interface. So it is sort of being inside the Shark Tank, but from your home, from your office.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the partners, the people that are the investors, and your investors that are on the other side, waiting for the entrepreneurs to get in.
Well, we have some awesome people. Kevin Harrington, formerly from TV Shark Tank, is actually one of those people. And we have a lot of other people as well. You want to mention?
Yeah. So I mean, some really cool and interesting people. Like the way that we kind of saw the vision of it coming along was that, you know, all kinds of accredited investors are going to start coming on. It's going to be very instantaneous, and we kind of didn't expect to have such a high caliber type of investors, accredited investors, you know, people that have been through, you know, 50 merger and acquisitions, you know, like Kevin Harrington, the billionaire investor, but we have people like Jason Stone, the millionaire mentor, they call him. He has the largest Instagram business themed page in the world, 3.3 million followers.
Wow.
Gayatri Sadekar, where she's been in the blockchain space for so long, and a huge VC, owns or is a partner in one of the largest, if not the largest, blockchain sports betting fund in the world. So, you know, and then Reese Jones, advisor to Facebook, and Gus, which is, you know, possibly competition, if you even want to say we have competition. So the caliber of investors. that are
Rizal
coming in
was
is huge.
actually was one of the guys that took Facebook to IPO, right?
He was part of, from my knowledge, I think he was part of the Instagram Facebook deal. So I don't know if he was in that, but I know he's one of the guys he's done like 50 merger and acquisitions.
In Silicon Valley, yeah.
And he saw our project and he was like, wow, this is incredible. You know, so he sees this as like a next phase of like what's happening in the crowdfunding space.
And those are obviously very high caliber people. The doors are pretty much open. So we invite anyone who's using the app to apply to become an investor. So it's not like we're picking people. I mean, we're obviously filtering them, but we're not keeping people out.
Yeah.
So anyone who's interested in participating.
So everyone can invest together with the sharks.
Well, so to become one of the sharks, if you want to use that term, on the platform, you have to apply and show that you're an accredited investor and so on. But we're also adding some new features that will allow people to participate in a small way by buying parts of companies and buying products from companies and things like that during the live sessions. So that's coming soon, and that's where the blockchain stuff comes in.
Tell us about that.
Well, we're implementing basically a kind of atomic swap on the platform that's going to allow someone to instantly trade pitch tokens for tokens that are being offered on the platform. And those tokens can represent anything. They could represent shares, or they could represent a utility token, or they could represent a product that you buy, and it's like a receipt for buying a kettle or something like that. Yeah.
That's where it starts to get like super exciting, where live participation in a crowdfunding manner is what got, like, I think Gayatri, she also not only is an investor on the platform, but she's coming on as an advisor, and she said that this is something that's truly disruptive that people aren't doing, and it just shifts it into such an entertaining, interactive way is like what's changing the game. So we're super excited about that coming on.
Nobody's doing anything really comparable to what we're doing now.
Yeah. Right, because you're ultimately changing behavior patterns, and you're identifying the disconnect between the entrepreneurial ecosystem and the VC world.
Right.
And so what's next for you guys now?
So one of the things that we're definitely excited about, and we're getting closer to now, because we've only been on iOS, so the App Store. So like now we're basically going to roll out the Android progressive web app, so that people can actually now watch. Some people have told us that they don't want to just use their phone, so now you get the opportunity to do it from a computer. Although we love the whole notion of doing a phone because it's so interactive, and you could be, literally we have people, even in a case just yesterday, someone got a message from Kevin Harrington while they were Uber driving. As they were Uber driving, they literally took a pitch driving around while they were Uber driving, and it was so instant. He was surprised. He didn't know what to do. He pressed the button, and then all of a sudden Kevin Harrington pops up, and he had to pitch him, and he potentially has now a deal.
Yeah.
That was
so
something that couldn't
you've
happen.
better done your homework, because
yeah. So he did very well, and I guess one of the other real cool ones, and Matt could talk about this, is we have atomic swap capability coming in that he's been working hard on.
So one of the things that will roll out roughly the same time as the progressive web app is the ability for people to trade their pitch tokens for other tokens that are offered on the platform. So for example, if someone wants to sell tokens representing either shares or utility tokens, or maybe it represents a particular product, like a real physical product.
Yeah.
They can actually sell those in exchange for pitch tokens on our platform. And that's going to roll out roughly the same time as the progressive web app. And the progressive web app won't entirely replace the mobile app. We'll still have a presence on iOS, and we'll still be usable on mobile phones, but now we'll also work on desktops and laptops and stuff like that.
Super cool. And you'll be receiving 100 pitches per day and 24/7, essentially.
We'll start there.
That's the vision. The vision of where we see it is that you can just log into the app at any given time and probably see a pitch, from a small child in Africa, housewife in Venezuela pitching a prince in Dubai, or a VC from Silicon Valley, because that was never possible before. Now it's finally possible.
So we just build the platform more, we get more activity on the platform. There are obviously the atomic swaps I mentioned. We're going to get those rolling, make sure it improves, it gets better and more efficient. And really it's just about building traction. That's the main thing, so we've got about 3 pitches per day going on now. Yeah. And we want to get that up to a point where there's always someone pitching, and then there's always someone getting funded to the platform. you know. So we've got a way to go, but we're getting there.
And your Android version will be available soon.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Congratulations.
What is it? Our WPS. What is that? AWS?
PWA?
PWA, progressive web app is like going to be out, and then Android, which is going to help because, you know, we're on iOS right now. In the US, maybe it's stable 50-50, but when you go around the world, 80% at least are using Android. So once that rolls out, I mean, we have an expectation of like lots more like literally happening.
And also some people don't like to use their mobile phone to talk, so it'll work on desktops and laptops and stuff like that. Anything with the browser basically. So.
And how about your token? So the pitch token is now in HitBTC.
Yeah, you can get it on HitBTC. Yeah.
And IDEX.
Oh yeah,
which is
IDEX.
decentralized exchange, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've been on there for a few months now.
Of course, and again, it's free to sign up. The company has been around for 2 years. They just recently, for the past 6 months, really gained traction in the marketplace. So if you just Google Pitch Investors Live, it's very easy to find them.
And it's very easy to reach the sharks that in any other way you would have needed to travel. You had
and wait a long line.
And yes, a long line. And a lot of context is very hard to get. So it's a major opportunity for everyone. So you should check it out.
Thank you. We're live here in Times Square at neweconomies.com.
Thank you for watching.